And I'm not saying just the place of where I was born. Sometimes the place of origin could be the place where I became.
Welcome to the Created to Be podcast. We are back. Everybody's at the table. Justin, how you doing?
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, gosh. That's good. We're going to talk about Taylor Troutman with softball. She asked about how we decided not to do Santa with the kids. So good intro to that. I'll come back to that. Darius is with us today.
I'm here.
And Brandi Morgan. Hey, we're going to have a lot of referring back to some other episodes today. We can start with that, Justin. Do you remember how we decided? Because in the last episode, we talked about how your family you had like
it was a long time.
Piles of gifts from Santa that you would wake up to. And then, my mom was like, you're going to know these gifts are from us. And so we didn't do Santa. So do you remember, like with our own kids, that was Taylor's question was, how did y'all decide not to do Santa? I have my answer. I wondered what yours was.
Mine was a yes, dear. I mean, I think I was like, what's the problem? But I was like, it took me till like 5th or 6th grade. Like, that's a problem.
Lee Parker was 5th grade before we told her.
Yeah, I was just kind of like,
was she upset? Or she just kind of in stride?
A little bit. I'm trying to remember, but maybe a little bit.
I don't know. I guess I would kind of let you choose on that. I wasn't strong on either side, but I was like, if they figure it out, let's just,
So the answer I gave her was basically you would have to do a lot of Christmas. Like you would have to be the one to make the show because I didn't grow up with it and I would feel like fake. Like I would feel like I'm lying and then be like, I just kidding. Like I can't hold this front.
Yeah.
And I normally
really bad liar, which
is good. So I just did, I normally do order all the gifts and do all that stuff. And I think it just kind of naturally worked out. But I'll say on the more serious side, I don't know that I would have as strong convictions now. But when we first had kids, I think I was definitely at a place of inner turmoil about, I'm going to have to tell them though. And so if we start down this road, I just feel really bad to have to do that part of this, whole thing. And so I was like, I just can't lie to them. It just felt like a lie. And so that doesn't mean that that's what it is. But I did tell her that now the kids are funny because they'll still put cookies and milk out. And we just all we don't do any gifts from Santa, but that's kind of how any of those extra things are, whether it's Easter or Tooth Fairy. Those are the other two she asked about. I'm like, we might still do some of the things that are attached to that, but it's all we're all pretending. Yeah. And we all know that we're pretending and pretend play. But yeah, basically, I think I just knew Justin's not going to do all the work that's required to sell this to our kids. So we're going to have to lean the way that
I guess that's a compliment.
You're just a simple man. You're simple. I think that it would be, you think so?
Yeah.
Or you think you would?
No.
We should roll it back and try it with Ben.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We heard that story. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, we heard that story of your brother who what would they do? Put all the gifts in suitcases or something? And then when it get close to the middle of the night, they were talking about their whole organization of it when their girls were younger, and they would roll the bags to this room and then get the gifts out and make sure the girls didn't come out. And they were in all the bedrooms were in the same hallway. So they had this whole scheme of how they pulled it off.
It's already enough work staying up late and putting everything together.
Yeah. Wrapping present. I guess you don't have to wrap if you do Santa, but.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We didn't. So we got one present from Santa. Our big gift was from Santa, but Brett's family, they all had an area. And all their stuff was piled there.
We had an area.
Yeah. And so when he first
it's a great area. Man.
I was like, this is a lot. And then you put it all out and the amount of money you spent. And then you look at it and I'm like, something doesn't add up.
That's right.
How did I spend all this? And that's what they had. I felt like it was never enough. But we did the same. All of our stuff was in the attic. Brett had no idea who was for what. And so they go to bed. They're all excited. We would be midnight trying to get them to go to sleep, pulling stuff out of the attic. I'm having to tell him whose is what and get it situated for them to wake up at 3:30 a.m. Right. And I was like,
I literally took a nap.
Basically, my kids, like, up until last year, it got a little bit longer every single time. But, like, the first year we were in this house, maybe the second year, it literally was, like, 3:30. It kind of got later and later. But also one thing that I struggled with was, which all of our kids believed in Santa. Drake probably found out the youngest, like 5 or 6, of course. But was like, one day I'm going to have to tell them this is not real, what we've been doing. And then I'm like, are they going to struggle with, like, I can't see Jesus, but Mom told me Santa was real, and then now
that was my conflict, for sure.
But then I also told myself, like, we grew up and we were fine with like that reality too. So anyway,
the classic. Well, we went and we turned out okay. We ate that stuff and we turned out okay.
We know we did.
Food's changed, but, you know.
Did you have a comment, Darius?
Well, I guess I wanted to ask Brandi. With your children getting older, does Christmas get that much more expensive?
Yes. Yeah. Because, I mean, just one present might be anywhere from $100 to $200 or $300.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking that. So that means we have to plan earlier.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, it helps that we're wrapping. So now we just change the experience. They still have their areas. We wrap, and I let them go and choose. Like, they get 2 different Christmas papers. And so, like, I don't have to label it. They just know, like, this is the paper I picked. So when they look under the tree,
they already know which one.
So it's still like a fun experience, I guess. But yeah, I'm just like, you're not going to get as much. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
This year I kind of have that issue with what I know I bought for Abby versus Eli, but I did talk to her about it. I was like, you realize if this is on your list, you're going to open less.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, as long as you're good with that.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it does, because, like, my kids don't listen to this, but Brett Daniel, we got him a crossbow. I mean, that's expensive. I got it on sale, but, like, that's pretty much what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like,
well, my brother has twins, and so I used to tell him I thought he set the bar too high too early, because as they were getting older, it's like they're going to the 7th grade and you done bought both of them 2 4-wheelers.
Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah.
So it's like, how are you going to outdo that? Like, the bar is being set so high. And I mean, and they're pretty, now I can say that they're great young men, and then they're built different. They're more like my brother. They don't really they don't like a lot of stuff. But I was talking to him the other day, and he was telling me that one of them wants a truck. Well, because it's 2 of them, now you got to, like, everything you almost have to do it in 2s. Yeah. Now, of course, more than likely, I know my brother too. He probably he's one of those, you gonna work, you gonna earn it. So they probably share a truck.
That's right.
But I just thought about that, having, when you don't have children, sometimes that's not your reality. So you don't really think about some of the things that, like, I'm just sitting here listening, as it relates to, I thought about growing up with Christmas. Like I said this last time, we really didn't talk about Santa, but we didn't shun him either. I feel like with my mom being a teacher, and we kind of having to deal with that at school, and you're seeing the man in the big red suit with the beard. It's kind of one of those things. I feel like we knew, and then too, we were, some people call it nosy. I say aware, attentive. Like, I've always been a person that paid attention to patterns. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, when I see my mom come in the house, she trying to send me to the back to go do something. I'm like, man, you never do this.
Right.
And so you start kind of picking up on, okay, Christmas gifts. And then what would get me is when I see them wrapping other people's gifts. So I'm like, okay,
detective.
I'm like, yeah. So this is who's been wrapping our gifts. So you kind of realize, but with the, it was very big for us to watch the Christmas shows, like when Christmas come, the little old Saint Nick and all of those different things. So we kind of knew, but we wasn't, like, I wasn't really distraught. It's kind of like you said, to me, the Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, like you said, the Tooth Fairy. Now, I'm going to say this, out of all of those, I believed in the tooth fairy.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to say this. I don't know how my mom did it because I was a light sleeper. So I'm like, I know I'm going to feel when this tooth is being removed from under this pillow. And I never could tell. So I really believe in the tooth fairy.
My kids set traps. So, like, I would have to hear them talk about the trap so that I would not fall into the trap.
Wow.
I'm like, this is too much.
And Morgan kids are different.
Now, that's different.
That is true. We could do a podcast just on the Morgan kids.
We might need the Morgans and the Pigots to go.
Hey, that is interesting. They said, like, I would literally, like, I'm going to sleep a certain way. I'm going to put it right here so there's no way you cannot move this tooth.
Did it not freak you out? Like, as an adult now, I'm like, how did it not freak me out to think some fairy is going to come in my bedroom and go under my pillow?
Well, I guess I was so...
didn't care because the money...
See, that's what I was going to say. I'm distracted by the money. I wasn't thinking about somebody coming in. I just wanted
Some
to...
crazy fairy come in my room, but I got 50 cents.
Right.
It's on.
Yeah, that's it.
Do it.
You got what?
I don't know. I'm just,
Oh, I was going to say...
How much you getting for
No, some kids...
Man, I was getting like $10 for a tooth. That's why I said I didn't mind walking around snag mouth.
I wouldn't either.
Because I was like, my pocket's off.
A lot of mine didn't count because I had to get like 7 or 8 removed at the dentist.
So that didn't
Baby
count.
teeth just didn't come out.
Really?
Yeah.
Let you keep them and put them under your pillow?
Oh, I kept them, but I didn't like get
So
them.
hold on. Let me make sure I get this straight. You had to get them actually taken out?
I didn't get them removed because I had some jacked up teeth. So I had to create some space for the new ones to come in.
Gotcha.
And needed a retainer and all that stuff. I had some buck teeth, man. Sucking my thumb.
Really? But now I'm going to say this. I don't know if y'all ever, well, I'm pretty sure y'all have. The worst is to see the baby teeth are perfect, and then when the real teeth start coming in, you like,
just jack the whole thing.
it's like, I'm talking about the baby teeth, they are perfect. And it's like veneers when they baby teeth.
Hey, going back to characters, we were talking about like just the characters that aren't real, obviously, Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus. I really wanted Frosty the Snowman to be real.
Oh,
I love Frosty. I love Frosty. It was like the best day ever with these kids, man. Frosty's like the cool uncle, you know?
Yeah.
It was, let's go do this, let's go do that. And he was just awesome. And I'm like, man, Frosty's really cool. I wish Frosty was real. And then he melts and it's over. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Man, it's really
put in all that work.
And
put all that work, and then 30 minutes is
just too hot. And Frosty's gone. Crap.
Hey.
Man. But apparently it just never... I don't know, it's sick thinking about it now.
He made me think about he made me think about that commercial where those kids built up Frosty, but then they got cold, so they built the fire, and Frosty's just sitting there and just...
Man, I love hanging out with you guys.
That's exactly how it was. Man. That's
Have y'all seen
amazing.
the M&M commercial? I like that commercial.
I love the M&M Christmas.
When Santa comes down and they're like,
he's real.
Yeah, the M&Ms are coming into the living room, and then they're like, he does exist, and then he's like, they do exist,
and then he fall out.
Yeah. I did see that.
Yeah,
One
it's
of them
really
faints.
funny.
Or
Yeah.
they both end up fainting.
I don't even.
No, I think it was Santa. Santa, he ended up falling out, and
That's
then
so good.
yeah, that's a good one. But I do feel like this. Sometimes the children today have been robbed of just a great time.
Yeah.
Like the blessing of innocence and being naive.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't have as much, but just the fun. It seemed like that is something that a lot of them are just missing out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like when you see it, because it's like even Christmas now to me, it doesn't seem as exciting. It doesn't seem as like joyous. And I feel like some of it could be connected to so many different things,
Right.
you know, but I just think about some of the things like that we did get to do that brought so much. It's like it was a part of, man, this was a good hang.
Yeah.
Like, but
the anticipation and
yes.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes that is where somewhat the different characters give you some type of,
yeah, sure.
you know.
It's like a fun story to play.
Yeah, right. You know,
sure.
I mean, but I get it too. You don't want to lie.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, now let's just watch Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
Or not Hallmark, the cheesy Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know.
You get to pretend for a little bit.
Yeah.
In the cheesy Christmas. No, I don't pretend. I take scenes from that and make tamales in my
There
kitchen.
you go.
There we go. Take a real look at it, get an idea out of it.
That's right.
I
play it.
told somebody yesterday, though, like the elf on the shelf thing.
Yes.
Like, I wish I would have thought through things. Like, I'm one of those where I'm like, oh, yeah, that seems so fun. Let's do it. And then it's like, you're a couple years in, and it's like, what was I thinking?
What was I doing?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the goal of that company, I heard from someone a long time ago, is like she didn't have the goal of just producing this one thing, like literally with the vision of we will be the North Pole. So I don't know what else they have produced, but that was her vision for this company.
Oh, wow.
So I need to look it up to see like what other products they
Well, I mean, I know they have like reindeer and other animals that you can buy, like friends and clothes and all the
Take
things.
that new crossbow to that elf on the shelf.
Well, now we just let the kids have it.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
y'all
Yeah.
just
Y'all
take
do
turns. Yeah, if you want, they just move it randomly throughout the day. It's not even added at night anymore. But that's something that I was like, and then you see all these things that people do, and I'm like, half the time I was waking Brett up at 5:30, like, we forgot to move it, and it's about time to wake the kids up. So we would just
That's
like
so
throw
much
it in a new
pressure.
spot.
I get the fun part, but man,
Yeah.
Excuse my ignorance. I feel like I have one of these moments every podcast.
You don't know
What's
what
the
elf on the shelf?
Don't know what elf on the shelf.
know what else.
So it's like you get this little character. We'll have to show you a picture later, and he's an elf and he hides in different spots. But you have a book that goes along with it that you read at first. You have to give him a name, gives him his magic.
Okay.
You can't touch him.
Okay.
So then you just find him the next morning. So at night he flies to the North Pole, tells Santa how you been.
Like he's
And then
watching
comes
you,
back.
essentially. He's like the one
Yeah.
keeping tabs on you.
And everybody has their own elf in their house. Well, like we only had one for our household, but like you would have an elf at your house. Some people have multiple elves.
Gotcha.
But like the parents, you just need to like Google
Yeah,
search
go
elf
TikTok,
on
whatever.
itself
You'll see it.
ideas because they come up with all sorts of things that the elf does
during the
during the night when he comes back. Like
So
having
you
a
might
marshmallow fight or trying to make cookies and the kitchen will be a mess. Like one of them, I saw sticky notes stuck all over the kitchen, but I'm like, I don't have time to do that.
Gotcha.
I would have maybe like 3 times
Yeah.
in me.
Yeah.
But then beyond that,
'Cause you
like
do
to
it-
for how long?
My
The whole
kid, well, I guess all of December, my kids wanted it to come after Thanksgiving. Like they would start like writing notes and like asking, and I'm like, that's a long time.
See, like I would need Justin's commitment with that. And I would know, I don't think you would do that.
If you touch the elf,
Right?
he loses his magic. You have to sing songs.
See, that's what
Like, would you do that?
Songs to him.
No.
No. See,
No.
That's what I'm saying.
But Luke,
If you have a story you're playing into, you got to be full in, both
invested.
parents.
Yeah. That's
This is too much
Luke,
for one
literally 13 years old, just looked at me like last week and goes, Mom, you made us, we sang to that elf one time. And I was like, I know. Think about how stupid I felt knowing it was a stuffed animal.
Wow. See, I every episode I have something. I'm learning something coming here to the pod.
I don't know if
Keep
it's
it
beneficial.
simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. I'm gonna
Welcome
look this
to our wild white people world.
Well, you know what? I'm going to look up
Hey,
this
they
elf
have a Snoop Dogg one.
No way.
They do. Snoop on the stoop or Snoop on the
Snoop on the stoop. Hey, Snoop on the stoop. Now that is funny. That is funny.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry, where have we gone?
Okay, we are going to move on, but that is awesome.
No.
Okay, so we didn't have a huddle
Darius
last.
is on the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, he is. Look at
No, I guess it's amazing because I come to the pod to share, but I'm always learning something. I think that's a great thing about this.
But what you're learning is irrelevant.
Yeah, is it useful information?
Well, you got to think. I'm connected to a lot of different places, so I'm able to take some of these ideas, and kind of like what you did with the Christmas movie.
Mhm.
You watch the Christmas movies. Now you got the hot tamales. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm learning things. So
I think that it's helpful to just that we can take. There's things that we might talk about here or have that you can then start up a conversation with somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope as people comment like that's what we'll do. Other people's comments will help us have conversation, talk about. We did not have a huddle last week, so we don't have an update because we're wrapped up for the year. But we went to the Christmas parade. Were y'all there, Brandi?
We did go.
Okay.
Well, it was me and 3 of my kids.
So normally we do not. Were any of your kids in it?
No.
So normally that last huddle is when the Christmas parade in Starkville is, but because it rained out or something like that, we were able to go. And I'm not gonna lie, my kids Ben was excited, but the older two were being kind of bums. But I was like, we're going because we've never been able to go. There's always FCA. So that's what we did with our time. It was very interesting. It was good. I thought it was good. Columbus had one. Oh, you're not Columbus. I'm thinking of Tyson. I'm sorry.
I'm in Tupelo.
Yes, I know.
So, but I need to ask you this. So, with the Starkville...
Sorry, let me explain. Tyson Cunningham posted about the Columbus parade.
Gotcha.
And you're not Tyson, but you replaced Tyson, so I'm sorry.
You know,
I
think that no, seriously. I was gonna ask you this about Starkville. It was a Starkville parade.
Yeah.
So who's all in the Starkville parade? Is it like just the Starkville High School, or
it's the band, SA band,
multiple bands,
people who win like a pageant,
so many pageant queens,
lots of big trucks from companies.
Yeah, like a lot, pretty much sheriff, fire trucks, motorcycle cops.
Gotcha.
All things loud.
Yeah.
So does Mississippi State actually get involved?
Well, they would have. The band normally gets in there, the maroon and white band, but it was later. It was later. So you got finals, and they're leaving. You know, people aren't even here, so you can't even have the full band there.
I gotta
because it was a week later.
I was gonna say I gotta find out when Tupelo's parade. That used to be a big thing. Like we used to always go. You know,
I was in it a lot.
And then sometimes being a part of them. Like with different businesses. We had a thing back home called the Partlow Drummers, and they was like a bunch of different drummers that may have been in different bands, and they make up the Partlow Drummers. And so they bring them all the way up from kids. So you got kids out there 5 and 6 years old and already can play the snare and was good. Like, and so but I haven't been. I think a lot of times now I do like it because it's just to bring the community out. You get to see different people in different elements, you know. But I guess y'all really kind of made me feel bad because I'm like, I don't know when the Tupelo parade is. Like I didn't go, you know, I haven't gone. And really, it's kind of like you were saying, my work schedule. This is a intense time of work, so sometimes that causes me to miss. But I'm gonna have to get down here to Starkville to kind of see what Starkville is putting out.
It's normally always the Monday after Thanksgiving, but because of rain, they changed it. But also, I think there's a theme. Like this year's was something about building, and like maybe somebody votes and chooses a winner, and they get something. Maybe their money back that they put in for being in the parade or something. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's like a thing. Like I said, we start traditions with your kids and not realize it. Because I tried to talk my kids into going to West Point to be in the parade with Brett so I could watch the boys play basketball. And they're like, no, we go every year to the Starkville. I was like, okay, we're going.
Wow.
So also I bring up Tyson because he had a really funny video of his little boy that was like, when Santa came by, he was like, Tyson's comment caption was, my boy's pleading his case over here. And he was just like just talking to Santa. Like, it was so funny.
Oh, boy, what he wants for Christmas.
Yes. And then, like, he said moments before and posted another one, and it was like this same child having like this evil laugh, like, I'm going to be so bad. I don't know. Like, just so it was like this contrast. It was really funny, but I didn't realize, I guess Columbus does theirs around the same time. But that's what we were doing. Also, last week was the state championship for football, and we vaguely talked about that on the podcast. And so then West Point ended up losing. So I thought it'd be interesting to hear from Brandi today. You know, we love to win, obviously, and y'all are winners in the Morgan household for sure. But like, what does it look like when it doesn't go y'all's way? Like, how do y'all process that as a family?
We're still processing.
Okay.
It's been a really tough week just because, like, Brett carry so much of the weight, but then I never expected to carry weight too. You know, it's been sad when we lost, but I don't know, this week has just been different. I never expected people to be mean to my kids. So like Monday we had to have conversations that I didn't expect to have after school. My first reaction was just not a Christian reaction. I was like, just hit them in the face. But stop it right then. I was like, okay, wait, that's not the way to handle it.
Rewind.
So yeah, let's just talk through this. But you know,
it had something to do with the football game?
With Brett. Like,
really?
Your dad should have called Better Plays, and I don't know why he's still coaching. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. And so,
That's tough.
that is tough for a boy to process, a teenage boy, younger. And so, like, we just had to walk that because it was somebody he considered his friend. And so I guess that made it even more hurtful that it was like somebody he was friends with. So, but those things just come. We just haven't had kids old enough to like be exposed in it.
Yeah.
And us already being like disappointed and sad and like carrying the weight, especially for like the seniors, it's a hard transition, which, I mean, I know, like we talked about it, it's kind of like going undefeated. I know this is not the same, but this is what we feel like. It's kind of like going undefeated in the SEC and then losing the championship. Championship. Like, we would rather have lost one of those other games.
Sure.
Like, sure, we love to beat Tupelo. Sure, we love to beat Star Wars. We would rather lost those and won the last game.
Right.
And especially because it was their night. I mean, they played better than we did, bottom of the line. It was not our best game, but that's just how it is in sports, I guess.
Well, I think it's like, when I don't know, it's just important to talk about both sides of that coin. Like, we're going to win and we want to be winners, obviously, but then sometimes it doesn't go our way. And especially in families, like that dynamic of you got kids involved, they're in the culture of the school. Like, what does that look like? So thanks for being willing to
and
say
I mean, because they care. They're there every day. I mean, they're in the grind with the boys. Sure, they're not on the field, but in between their practices, they do go out there. And I guess, like, Brett and I haven't talked a whole lot about it because I just wait on him.
Sure.
The only 2 words that he's given me is, I can't wait to wake up and it not be the first thing I think about every morning. And then also, like, one thing that he said that I was like, yeah, it's really good was, it's not a complete loss if we learn from it. If we learn something from it, like, it's not a complete loss. I was like, that's a good way to look at it. So I'm sure he still hasn't watched game film though.
Yeah.
I just think,
I don't know that he ever will.
I just think sometimes people don't realize the other side of greatness. It's like, that's the other side.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, like, for him and West Point to get to that point where it's a shocker if they lose. Like, I think
credit to him.
Yes, and the work and the program, and I think that that's a problem that many people wish they would have.
Right. Sure. And that's what I don't ever like want it to be like poor, pitiful us, because we know it's not. It's just, I guess,
it's just the moment. It's the moment, and I would say that, and I like when you were sharing that, like, your transparency is real, like, and I think that is something that is appreciative. But I was also thinking about it, like, sometimes we get so caught up in a moment that we say certain things because it's like, this is the same coach that got us here,
right?
So why would we feel like we need to get somebody else? Like, what I'm saying, and I'm saying, I know we're saying that. And kids are saying that. And sometimes I don't think we realize in, like, while you're in it, you're not really thinking about that pressure. But with him being who he is, the family being who they are, West Point being who West Point is, it's like, you got to think about how that is for him, how that is for you. Y'all have children who neither one of them played in the game, had nothing to actually to do with impacting the game, but they're having to deal with the repercussions. Right. And then you think about the actual players, like, who was out there who may have missed a tackle or who may have fumbled or who may have done something. Like, I think we don't think about the mental toll that could actually take, on a child, a young person. And then I'm gonna say this, even your husband, even you, like, I think sometimes people just think we are just invincible.
Well, I said, I feel like people think you just go out there like an hour before, like all coaches, not just high school. Sure. Like, you go out there an hour before, all right, let's go. We're going to do this tonight. Like, the hours that the kids put in and the coaches put in behind the scenes. And another thing that's really been hitting me is, like, we don't follow other people around being like, why did you do this? Or to the dentist, like, why did you not do this way? Why did you, like, why do people feel they can do that to coaches? Like, I don't understand it.
I know.
Like, we have several friends that are like college coaches, and like their families can't even go out after a loss the next day. And it's like, why are people like that?
Well, that Northern Illinois coach, man, if he lost, he wouldn't go take a shower.
Oh, wow.
Really?
It's one of his
Oh,
things.
my
It's like
gosh.
punishment. I look forward to a shower, but I'm going to go home and I'm going to stink.
Okay, so have y'all seen the Dr. Pepper commercial? I love this commercial where they come up to the coach's door.
You're on the hot seat, coach.
Have you seen this? And you're like, you're on the hot seat.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's
like, we only won by 24. It's
and
not
they're
enough.
like, but it's not enough. And then they're like, fire up the billboard, and it's like fire Coach Tate.
Oh, no.
And then he's like, well, you know who this new head coach is also sponsored by? And he hits his clicker and his garage goes up and it's like full of Dr. Pepper. And they're like, oh, we were just kidding about that hot seat stuff. Take the billboard down. Like, it's so good. I was like, on brand, Dr. Pepper, good job.
Yeah,
But it is unfortunate because, I mean, West Point was undefeated.
Yeah.
So you lose that last game, but it's like, look, there's so much there was so much accomplished. So I don't know what it is about how we act as fans and people involved. Like, just being able to interpret what's really going on accurately is just, I feel like, impossible in this space.
I think it's been good though too. Like for me, I've been learning to like guard my peace.
Yeah.
Because I already have access to it through Jesus.
Right.
But like, am I actually guarding my peace, or am I like giving in to the
Letting that stuff
Yeah.
you.
And I'm gonna say with you, being in the space you're in with your husband, I've learned this. There are a lot of miserable people who are literally, this is crazy to me, who are literally waiting on your downfall or something to hang their hat on to prove you're not all that. It's like so even in a moment like that, we're going to make that moment way much bigger than it actually is. We're going to try to illuminate it to the point where we completely ignore everything you did being undefeated because we've been waiting on a moment.
Well, there was a guy, and this is when I was like, I had to make a post I run like a different FCA page for West Point, the high school, and I had to make a post there, and I saw this guy, like, I find it comical now. I was mad at first, but he said on Friday morning, 1 Morgan down, 2 more to go. What? And I'm like, we don't even know you. Yeah. Like, why would you say it? But then I was like, it's just the world we live in.
What I've learned is, now this is tough, because I'm like, why would some people have a certain problem with others? But I've learned, and I'm learning that sometimes it's hard to reason with certain people because there's not a problem per se circumstantially, but you're the problem.
Yeah.
Meaning you are really what some people wish they were, wish they could do. So it's almost like a envy. And so it's I'm gonna be honest, to be as close to West Point as I've been able to get through people like you, Jeremiah, it puts you in a place where you really respect the journey. And then I also think about this too. When you're on the inside, you see it from a completely different place. That's why, like now, since I've been working here, I can't even go to the barbershop the same way.
Yeah.
Like before, I would go to the barbershop. I'm just, I'm in the conversations with a lot of them. But now I can't go because people are not, our minds, it's almost like the average person's mind is not built to think about all the different components. Like West Point was, 14-0, 15-0 before they lost. They not thinking about, man, to win week after week, year after year. Got a new coach like 2-3 years ago. Like they're not even thinking about
context
and to keep the continuity of winning. Yeah. They're not thinking about that. They just thinking about that one game, a few plays. And so now when I go, I literally have to sit there and just let them talk.
Yeah.
You talking about guarding your peace. And I feel like sometimes guarding your peace is just resting in the truth.
Yeah.
Like, the actual truth. The real. You know the hours. The commitment. And it's like to sit there and see, like to be able to know that. It's like, why would I let a blind person see for me?
Right. That's good.
Like,
it's also like, being content with you don't have anything to prove.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's one thing we've talked about, not that people don't matter, but like all of the people within the program, all the way up to superintendent, people in the schools, have all been so supportive the last week. And that's truly who matters.
That's really who you have to look at for sure. Yeah.
So
that's good. That's really, I hope that helps people just that are involved in sport whether you're a fan, coach, player, like this is a reality that happens all the time. So it's very relevant. So thanks. I also think that, I don't know if it's a famous coach or not, but just I think the challenge, and I've heard that just it's harder to get to the top and stay there.
Yeah.
So, versus it is still hard to get there, but to maintain that. So there's sports, several teams, I'm thinking about UConn basketball, women's basketball right now.
Yeah.
But there's so many, or Pat Summitt whenever she was at Tennessee, and just the dynasty of that, like that's a really hard thing to accomplish. But then you kind of condition a fan base to expect that. Yeah. So that can be really hard. Another podcast that we did, and unfortunately Brandi and Darius couldn't be there with us that day we recorded, so we won't go too far into this because we'll go to some other topics, but we did talk about like learning to win and what it means to finish, and that in any scenario, whether it's you win or you lose, that you have a willingness to engage with the data of what has happened and keeping a learning mindset. And so if anybody's interested in that, they can go back and listen to that conversation Justin and I had. We talked about a lot of that. Okay, one more thing about tradition I had to show y'all, and this is where maybe one day we will have cameras and we can record so people can see what we're doing. But this was a wild thing. And this is where the algorithms on Instagram, you're like, you're listening to me. Like, how in the world did this come up on my phone?
It's known. They know what we're doing.
Yeah. So whatever. It's an open book. But
it's what it is.
Okay. This came up on Instagram. This wild tradition in Switzerland. We talked about Christmas trees and, real or fake, whatever. Okay. Switzerland has a tradition of using real candles on Christmas trees.
On the tree?
Yes, I'm going to show you all the video.
Is it real Christmas trees?
Yeah. It's especially in historic churches and some homes, preserving an ancient practice with real flames, though it's carefully managed for safety, creating a warm glow for the holidays, particularly Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve for good luck. So I'm going to show y'all this video. It is wild. So if you wanted to see it, you could just look on Instagram.
Well hydrated.
You can hear come the music. I think that's a real tree.
Oh, it's a real tree.
Hold on.
It's not loading. Oh, let me turn my...
I'm trying to figure out.
I would set the tree on fire.
So it looks like they have some kind of like ropes between the candles that burn that take the flame to the next one.
Oh my God.
But they still do this. This is like a thing.
So that's the rope that's burning to light the candle.
Yeah.
That is insane. It's really cool, but I would be terrified.
Right?
If I was about to burn the house down.
I know. It's really
cool.
fun to watch. But I just thought this was funny and wanted to bring it back so that if anybody wanted to watch it, they could look it up.
So the flames lit the candles?
Yeah, it started with, they all have those like thing you see between.
Okay, I see.
So it lights it and then it takes it to the next one. But just we were talking about like traditions that we should keep or like give up. I was like,
that came up.
Isn't that crazy?
I got too many hair products in my beard. I've been in caught on fire.
So maybe that's one that needs to be given up. But anyway, I just thought that would be fun to show you guys. Lastly, it's an FCA kind of birthday month for us here. Justin's birthday's on the 16th. Darius is on the 20th. And then we had Scott and our daughter Abby on the same day, had their birthday December 5th. But a running joke is that Darius is celebrating his birthday for a lot of days because we got a happy birthday early. So you're on you have 9 more days. So I don't know what the countdown is. 11, I guess the 11th day to celebrate you since the beginning.
I've been getting, so what my wife done, she done me a surprise birthday dinner, a birthday party, and she told me we was going to take pictures. So I was dressed up for pictures, and I get there, and it's a room full of people.
Did you like that? Do you like surprises?
I do, and I'm going to say this. I feel like with as much as I been doing, I just needed it.
Yeah.
Like just to
got a good wife, man.
Man, I got a great wife.
Well, she listens.
12 days of Darius's birthday here,
Yeah, we both take a listen. I think she just like to see me in this element.
Yeah.
So I have a great wife. She done that for me, and she really had me. I literally had a whole nother change of clothes in the car because I'm like, once we get through taking pictures, I don't really want to be out looking, So I had a whole nother change of clothes in the car. Literally, while we was on our way, I said, babe, after we take these pictures, I'm just going to let the night be about us. Like, I'm going to take you out. Like, not knowing what she has planned. And the only reason why she really would have got me great. But while I was looking for a parking spot, I saw my pastor's truck. And I'm like, why would he be here? And then once I saw his truck, it's like you start seeing the other vehicles. And I looked at it, I said, you almost got me. And she still was trying to play it off. But she had been planning this since April.
Oh, wow. That's hard. That's a long time to keep a secret.
Listen, she had a RSVP website. She had all kind of stuff.
Dang.
And didn't have people from out of town. I'm talking about the girl did it. I was thoroughly impressed.
Well, I hope she listened. I asked about that because I was like, you say some really great things about her on this pod, so I hope that she.
Well,
next time she's gonna need a shuttle bus. Go park in a field somewhere, shuttle everybody over.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I was thoroughly impressed. And then my wife is the type of person, if she puts her heart into something, she's gonna go all out. And so what happened, she had to do it then because on my actual birthday, I'm doing a birthday concert. And so I feel like she was trying to do it where she could surprise me. But what happens, everybody now thinks my birthday has come. So I got all kind of people wishing me happy birthday. I've gotten texts from people, happy belated birthday. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to. Yeah, and I'm like, it has not come yet. And so that's been kind of interesting because that's never happened, before. But hey, I'm excited about, getting to this next birthday, looking, just reminiscing and reflecting.
Yeah.
And looking at all the things I've been able to do to this point of my life. And so
that's so fun.
I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we've also talked about end of year giving on the last episode, and we just want to say thank you to those people who have given and will give, because it's just, you really see people are generous all year. Yeah. But it is pretty wild at the end of the year just to see the generosity, and it definitely has taught me through the years of what that looks like. And so,
did you say Justin's birthday is December the
16th?
16th. What you got planned? Besides getting older?
We don't have anything major planned.
Don't have anything.
That should be another podcast episode, because what I've learned for sure is that everybody does birthdays different. Like there's, kind of like everybody vacations different. Yeah. Like it is a thing where some people it's a big deal and this is how it needs to be. And other people it's like, I'm fine.
Just want a nap,
Yeah. That's what Justin wants at this point in time. I do have, I think, a pretty good surprise for him. So he'll get that gift from me. But we are going to, this weekend, we're going to go to Nashville to
Our
see.
anniversary is the 13th. So they're all together.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot going on in December. For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So our main topic today, although we've already said a lot of great things, is hometowns. This is the stretch time, because we do have a special guest we want to have on, and we'll talk to her about her hometown, and that'll be good. So we want to kind of set that stage. And this is going to be kind of a weird connection, but just track with me for a second. This is how I kind of got to this. So we like to try to make the stretch time about sports, and this is not going to be super sports related, but we'll start it that way. Lane Kiffin leaving Oxford. We don't have to talk about him, but it was funny, the argument, or not argument, but the justification of why he should stay when I've talked to some Ole Miss fans is that they will say this. He just loved Oxford because it's awesome in Oxford and his family loves Oxford. They were convinced he would not leave because Oxford was such a great place to live. And so it made me think, like, especially I've noticed this in Mississippi, people are so, I feel like I can say, like, loyal here, like just so attached to this place and to people. And that's, growing up in Texas, I love Texas, but I don't know that I had so much of like this, when someone leaves, it almost feels like betrayal or moves somewhere else. Now, when we had Anya on and we talked about country pride, I definitely could identify with that type of feeling, because I feel like Texas is very similar, but it's not this, they've left, I can't believe they would leave us like this, And so I thought it was interesting that was, I didn't talk to a ton of Ole Miss fans, but that's kind of the thing. I don't know if y'all heard that people would say is like, oh, but he loves it here. He would never leave.
His wife loves it here, or whatever. That's like the. And
so what it made me realize, we all have this different interpretation too of what makes a hometown like a hometown. Like, what do you consider your hometown,
Well, I'm gonna say, like, being from Mississippi, being here my whole life. Now, I've been blessed to travel with singing and different things, so I've been able to kind of get out and kind of get exposed to some different things, different people. I will say that I do believe it was a fear of my family because of my personality. I think that they was a little afraid with all of the things that I was seeing, that once I got of age to be able to make my own decisions, I probably would leave. Because I feel like in my generation is the most I've seen a lot of us leave Mississippi. Yeah. And a lot of times if we leave, we got one or two things we're going to do. Some of us are going to leave and never come back, or some of us are going to leave and immediately come back.
That's not for me. That's not for me. I'm going back home.
And so I do feel like there is I don't want to say it, but I feel like there's I don't even know the best way to say it without sounding, but it's almost like there's some form of a delusion sometimes where we feel like Mississippi is it. And because one of the things I thought about was, if he's in Oxford, I've been to Baton Rouge, and I've also been to Gainesville. There's no comparison. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no comparison. What I mean when I say that is to go to a place and leave. I mean, you got so many different things you can do there.
Right.
You can't compare the things to do in Oxford to the things to do in the Baton Rouge, right, or the things to do in a Gainesville. So I feel like that was their way of trying to hold on to something. I feel like that was their way of trying to hold on to something. Now, I'm from a small town called Plantersville, Mississippi. And we probably have a population of the whole town, probably of maybe 2,000 people, maybe. And so it's a small town. Everybody knows each other. Everybody is connected. Like, it's easy to know the history. And so it's kind of one of those things. I've noticed this, though. A lot of people in those towns, it's almost like they don't even know that there's a world out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like they don't, and so.
All right. So here's my take, I think. Texas, so much opportunity. There is a pride in the state because they feel like they're the best in a lot of things. And most of the time they are. Yeah. And so when you leave, the pride of the state, you're always a Texan. It's no big deal. When you leave,
I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be like...
You're going to go... They're like, okay, go and change the world.
Right,
because
exactly.
You're from Texas.
Yeah.
In Mississippi, we lose so much talent in Mississippi to go to other places with better opportunities, mm-hmm, that when we see it, it hurts us. All right? And also, there's a reality. Mississippi is 5 to 10 years in the past than most other places. And we like it in a lot of ways because the pace is different.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice for a lot of people that have been out in the cities and the other places that are just like, man, it's just something about the people. The people are the best. Well, we totally agree. I think, for those in Mississippi, the people are the best here. At the same time, resources are not as high. Mm-hmm. Opportunities are not as high. And so when you do lose people, you feel the impact of that community. And so we all want people to stay. But in reality, there is a delusion of like, man, they're going to really enjoy it, though, because they're going to get the opportunities they need and develop. And now some of them do come back, mm-hmm, because they experienced that, grew, and they come back and they want to make this place better.
Yeah, well, I will say this, too. Mississippi is a growing retirement state.
Yes.
Where a lot of times when people are trying to settle down, mm-hmm, and with me having... Like, when I go out and travel, I may have Mississippi State gear on or something, and you'll be amazed out of the whole world. Like, people who, once they see that, it strikes up a conversation. Yeah, we have a townhouse in a place. We got horses, right, and different things. It's like, so that is their reality. And then I think sometimes it's this too. Not, you was talking about people leaving and becoming something somewhere else. I think that's why it hurts. Yeah. Because we're having to face the truth that we don't have the resources. We are behind. And then this is the reality. Some of us are so set in our ways, we're not changing. So for this person or, mm-hmm, that person to become what they need to become or do what they need to do, they got to leave.
There's a little bit of jealousy in there too.
Yeah,
probably. Like we're out there getting out. Or we don't see ourselves leaving. And so to even think about that and to do that is like betraying our state, betraying our people.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it is a delusion. It's like
But what's so funny about that is that being from Texas, and you kind of said this already, if I saw someone leave, I would be like proud, like, yeah, go get them wherever you go. Like, it's so interesting how the place can make you feel like that, because I don't even know that people, I don't know, maybe they do. And I'm sure in smaller towns in Texas, they might feel that way maybe, but we also grew up in a home where our parents, we did move like across a 2-county area several times. So we weren't just in one place, even though we were in a very close, I mean, we didn't move far.
Gotcha.
But it was kind of a lot of times financial reasons. It makes sense to move to this house so we can do this and whatever. I have 3 sisters, and our parents were very much like wanting to figure out how were we gifted, invest in us in those areas. And then like they weren't afraid if we did leave. So I don't know if so much comes from being in Texas and the mentality of the state, or just my family emphasized that like they weren't, I mean, I think my mom was nervous. I was 17 and coming 10 hours away, but she didn't say I couldn't do that, to come walk on the basketball team here. So.
But I think that's because y'all are bigger. Like he said, like Texas, everything is bigger. So the mindset.
Right, you're already seeing that around you.
You're already open. Whereas in Mississippi, we're very closed-minded. It's almost like to leave, we're going to talk about it's like we'll say, you are older, do what you want to do. But it's like we're going to talk so much against that place that fear is built up, anxiety, can I do it? And it's like we are really like that. And I've had to learn to be okay with it when I've experienced, but it's kind of like what he said. Being from Plantersville, if I tell you I'll be there in 5 minutes, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But in the city, is no such thing as being there 5 minutes unless it's literally like right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the bigger things for me. And I feel like that part of me that likes the comfort of getting somewhere in 10 minutes, as opposed to some of my friends who are in the big city, it's like, if they got to be at work at 6, they got to leave home at 4:30.
Right.
Like, because they trying to avoid the early morning rush hour traffic. And then when they get off, they may get off at 5, but they don't get home to 7:30. And I'm like, that drives me nuts. So I feel like that's a part of, though, being in a smaller setting, smaller town. The mindset is, you kind of wired different. It's like you almost, when you move from big city to small city or small city to big city, it's like feeling like a fish out of water, having to relearn. So I think that's one of the things that have been somewhat challenging from a geographical standpoint. But I mean, it's to each his own. I know some people here, they encourage their kids, which is very rare, but they actually encourage, leave. Go out and spread your wings. Go get a job somewhere. You're not going to be able to do that here. And then another thing that I just thought about with the pod, having a lot of college athletes and college students. I remember when I first came to Mississippi State, it was big to us to know what your major is, because you may be trying to go into a field that is really not big in Mississippi. So it's like, if you go into this field, you're going to have to leave. Mm-hmm. So that was something that we would have to really, being here, you would have to really consider. I may really want to do that, but if I do this, I'm going to have to leave. And so if I don't want to leave, I'll just do something around that so I can, so it's really a mentality thing.
Yeah. One of the things I'll say that was really, maybe I'm going to put this on y'all's radar, see if you notice it this week before we record again. I was at the Kroger in Starkville and then the Kroger in Columbus, like a few days apart. And it just, I don't know what made me notice it. I think it was just happening so frequently that I couldn't believe it. I was like, but people stopping and having full-blown conversations in the grocery store. Like one guy, like just leaning against the freezer in the middle of and they were just full-blown. I mean, I don't know how long. And then, it was Walmart here too. I walked past some gentlemen talking. I don't know if one of the guys really wanted to be in the conversation, but I walked past one time, came back, they were still talking. And just the pace at which, like, I'm going in the store, I've got a list I'm executing this list, and I will definitely talk. Like, I'll definitely see people I know and say, but these are like, they should be at a coffee shop having a conversation, you know? And I just thought to myself, only in a place like this, like I don't see this. When we were in Texas, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that would talk to the HEB, but it's like, you're not seeing that kind of stuff.
Talk to the who?
Talk at the HEB. It's a grocery store.
Oh.
I was saying, like, at the HEB, you're not going to see people chilling in the aisle, you know? I mean, the store was massive.
That's
too.
normal.
Yeah.
That's normal here.
That's it. And so I do think that people that do come here, because I felt this way on my visit to Mississippi State. We were walking down towards the admissions building, and my mom is from Georgia, and we walked past somebody, and they said, hey, how are y'all doing? And I was like, good. Like, it weirded me out.
Yeah.
And I asked my mom, I said, why did that person say hey to us? And she said, well, it's Southern hospitality, you know, and then she got like her little Georgia pride out and, you know, mentioned that. So I don't know if there's a way that you can do both, you know, where you have that, you're not so attached that you're just like keeping people, but also that hometown. Because I do feel like athletes who come here and do appreciate that, they acknowledge there's not a ton going on here, although Starkville is growing in the area, but people that have that in them, that want that comfort and familiarity, do appreciate that when they come here. So
that's a real thing. Like they tell me, because I'm like that. I'm that person in Walmart, see a lot of people, and then you get to talking, and it's like, hey, how's your mom doing?
Right.
And you get to talk about, hey, you know, such and such. Like, it's like it keeps going. And so I'm one, when I go to certain places, I have people who either from there or people who know me to tell me, hey, you're going to Washington or you're going to New York. Do not go in with the Southern hospitality. What's up? Or, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Even sometimes holding the door open. Because it's like the way they are wired, it's almost, it's like, why are you speaking to me? Yeah. You know, it is very different. So the Southern hospitality, it's a real thing. People we talk to people like we know them, and we may know nothing about you, but it's a truck could be a conversation starter. Hey, I like that truck. Well, you know, I've had this truck about 5 years, and then my dad had a truck, and then his dad had a truck. Like, it's like it just goes.
But then he got a wreck and died. That was a long time ago, but I love this truck.
Yeah, it's like,
thanks.
Okay, but it's. I feel like that's why I love it, you know. And with Mississippi State, we have this. This is family. Like that's one of our trademarks, and that's a real thing, you know. So
it is real. How do you determine your hometown? Like, if I said, "Where are you from?" What would you say?
Well, I've been here for 21 years. I was in Vicksburg for 18 years, but I still catch myself to my kids, like, we're going home this weekend, or I'm going to run home. And they're like, Brett has made the comment, like, you are home. And I'm like, no, but I still call, like, my parents, specifically, like, my parents' house in that area home. But if you were to ask me, is Vicksburg home, I would say no. I don't know if it's just like I did it for
Picayune is my home. I grew up in the same house the whole time, and it wasn't until well beyond college that my parents sold that house. So that's all I know.
Yeah.
You know, I think it ties in a little bit with the Christmas parade stuff too, though. You think about it, it's these community events, it's the things that you've been in. I think it has a lot to do with how invested your parents are into the town. And so my dad was heavily involved in the local community because he was an insurance agent. So, like, that's a part of him. And then my mom and where she would serve. And so, like, that was just what we did. I mean, I never once thought about, we're going to go somewhere else or think about that. It was never even brought up. And so that's home.
Well, and my parents still go to the same church. So when we go back, like, we pick up with all of the people that I grew up with, and we spent so much time with them because my parents played softball. And, like, we were, like, their friend group was, like, a very big friend group that we spent a lot of time with. And so even now, like, they'll be like, oh my gosh, your daughter looks just like you. She even sounds like you. So, like, I feel like those people make it.
What would you say?
I would say a connected community that has pride in who we are, where we're from. That's just like my
Hold on. So are you still in the same place as
No, so I'm not. It's kind of, I'm not, but I'm only like 10 minutes away.
Okay.
And so, and the only reason why I'm not there because I couldn't find a house.
Gotcha. So you say Tupelo's your hometown?
So no, my home Plantersville.
You say that.
Yeah, I tell people Plantersville. Now it's easier to say Tupelo because everybody knows Tupelo. When you say Plantersville, it's like where, but it's like Sturgis. Some people they'll be from there, but they say I'm from Starkville. So I'm from Plantersville. And so there's a pride there. I'm just gonna give you a little history. I had a relative who was the mayor. She was like one of the first mayors. She was a woman, so she was a mayor.
It was a big deal.
Now I want to say he's like my second cousin. He's the mayor now. My brother is the chief of police in Plantersville. My mom is over like the Christmas parade, do a lot of community stuff. So it's like a lot of family, a lot of relatives. It's such a community that's connected, but also, like I said, a place of pride. Like people that are in Plantersville want you to know I'm not from Tupelo. I'm from Plantersville. Like it's and so
don't lump me into that.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. And so it's like so now I stay in Saltillo, Mississippi, but Saltillo has but it's a Saltillo address, but it's really Tupelo. It's like, how they start zoning out.
Yeah.
And so it's a Saltillo address, but it's really Tupelo, but that's where I'm from. So when I acknowledge home, I don't acknowledge Saltillo as my home.
Yeah.
Plantersville is where I'm from. Like when I go out, people, where are you from? It's that sense of like, I don't want to say using, but letting people know like, this is where I'm from. It's not only for me, but even the people there. Because it's like, you know how the scripture said, can any good thing come out of what? Nazareth? It's something like, so it's kind of like, that's the mindset of Plantersville. I want people to know, like, this is where my home is.
Yeah.
And so that's a very big thing back home. And I feel like it's kind of the small town syndrome, like, no, don't overlook us, And so that's really, they're very big on continuing community traditions.
They just care deeply about their people.
They care deeply.
Like whether they're truly family or not.
Right. And it is to the point where everybody's family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can go years back, somebody worked for somebody, and then next thing you know, they're business partners, or like it's to the point now where I try to tell, like, with my brother being the chief of police, like, I have all kind of friends. They'll call me, hey, I got a ticket. Hey, can you, and it's literally not it's not a racial thing. Like, everybody's connected. It's like, that's such and such his son, or, and so that is a very, like, that is one thing I think I really embrace about home, because in a world, there's so many people who don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're in a place where people actually do care and they work together, that's something that, as I get older, I appreciate more.
Yeah.
So.
I would say, and I've been a little bit, I don't know that jealous feels way too strong of a word, but like that I feel like I missed out in that way. Yeah. Because if you ask me, where are you from? A lot of times I'll tell people west of Fort Worth, Texas, because we really are like 30 minutes west, and we've lived in a town called Decatur. We've lived in a town called Bridgeport, and we've lived in a town called Springtown. And they're all kind of like within 20 minutes of each other. And I'm like, it's just that area. Like, that's just kind of where I grew up. But my dad worked in Decatur, which is 30 minutes from where I graduated high school from, in Springtown. And then before I went to public school, we homeschooled. And then we went to churches that weren't in the towns normally where we lived. So I think that some of the integration of you being in the town, like knowing about a Christmas parade and being involved, like so much of that stems from your church involvement, your extracurriculars, your school, and we were just not plugged into those places. Now, Starkville has a really great homeschool community, so they do get plugged in, but we didn't have stuff like that locally. So my mom will have to remind me sometimes when we go back, like, Mr. So-and-so was asking about you. And I'm like, because she worked in the schools for a little bit there. And so she's more familiar with like the actual people in the community, but we didn't really grow up with that. So
you're jealous of Picayune, Mississippi, aren't you?
I'm not jealous. I said it's too strong of a word. I'm saying the experience of like being able to just go back, and people don't. I mean, I kind of do get a little bit nervous going to the grocery store because I'm like, oh gosh, what if I see someone that I should know and I don't know their name, or like maybe someone I'm going to have to like fake it till I make it. Like, oh yeah, great to see you. And like, I haven't seen you in 20 years, but like, I don't like, it's kind of a place that I don't know that people go, but a lot of people I think I graduated with don't live. I mean, some of them live there, but anyway, it's just different. So, so the question is just about like what makes a hometown. And a lot of people say either place you were born or you grew up, or feel the strongest sense of belonging, So I do just say, I think that my answer is just like Texas. Like I'm from Texas, but Texas definitely has different, depending on where you are in the state, it's a very different experience. So just west of Fort Worth. And I don't know what that means to people when I say that, but.
And I was going to say home, when you was talking about, I thought about the place of origin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not saying just the place of where I was born. Sometimes the place of origin could be the place where I became.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I grew up here, but this is home. Because this is where so many different things came together for me, or where my identity was solidified, or where my connections. So I feel like home is going to be categorized differently or looked at differently from different people, and so because I have encountered people who are like my pastor. He's from Chicago, but he moved here, I think, when he was like 8 or 9, but he acknowledges Mississippi as home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which technically most of his family's from Chicago, but he acknowledges Mississippi. So I feel like it could be different for a lot of us,
That is so weird, because I do say, like, I probably spent more time, I don't know, we lived in Oklahoma for a stint too, but whenever people, if they ask more specific, I say from Springtown, because my parents still live there, but I only went to high school there for 2 years. So it's just interesting, like because I don't say Bridgeport, that's probably where I did more of my growing up, or like.
I mean, for me, it's easier to pick you and being there my whole time, and then being here.
Yeah.
So like home is in Picayune, but then home is also Starkville, because there was so much formation that happened here. So many moments athletically too, but people and discovering who I really am. It's my own faith, not my parents, was here, but home in Picayune was just so formative too. So it's.
And Justin, I want to say this, he's just such a humble person. This is one of the most known people that I know. I'm gonna I didn't listen. He can sit over here and look how he wants. I had a magical moment. Listen, I had a magical moment I didn't even tell him about.
Oh, tell it.
I
want to know.
Magical, huh?
It was magical for me, because when I was when you name drop, and it's the oh wow, or the aha moment. So Sunday we at the basketball game, and I see this guy who comes to a lot of the basketball games. He's been a great supporter of Mississippi. He's great. Mississippi State, he's been a great athlete here. And he goes by the name of Jake Mango. And I see him in Tupelo, and I said, man, I got to get a picture with this guy. So I take a picture with him. I said, man, I know you know Pikett. Justin, yeah, Pikett, man, he's a good guy. I said, yeah, I worked with him with FCA, but it was just the ability to give that name, the light up that took place in that moment. And then I'm sitting up here, I'm just thinking to myself, after I take this picture, I said, now Justin will walk around and act like he's just such a common guy. And when you say his name around Starkville to certain people, you can tell he has a lot of connections, has a great, and I'm gonna say this, great influence. Yeah. So I'm just saying, some people you bring their name up and people are like, oh. But with him, it's like you bring it, oh yeah, like, so it's a testament to not just the work he put in as an athlete, but the work you're doing with FCA and to be known. So I'm just glad that I can be in the number to say,
funny.
So I'm saying, like he talks about Starkville being home.
Yeah.
You can see that because it's so many different people here that, that knows him. And I was thinking about when we was at the WFCA, it was the French camp meal with the radio thing they do here. And it's almost like this man was shaking hands with every single person. It's like and it's almost like if you're standing there, you kind of like, he's really a big deal.
Look, during the Christmas parade, I was laughing because he knew so many people. Like, hey man, it's like, who in the world is that? And he's like, oh, he works for such and such. Oh, he does such and such. It's so funny.
He's very connected.
I have a funny story that happened to me. Somebody recognized me from college. I mean, have not seen this person in 20 years. Which was kind of scary because she said, do you recognize me? And I was like, oh. You know, you have that moment. You're like,
Bethany looks the same.
Well, she was like, are you Bethany? Did you go to the BSU? She was like, I remember your blonde streak and that it's natural. Wow. So we had this whole conversation because she remembered my hair. That is so. Anyways, that was a dentist. That was Dr.
It really is natural.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it goes through my eyebrow, my eyelashes. It's all blonde.
Oh my
And I
God.
have some more like highlights back up in here.
Brett
I don't
has
do that.
one spot. You can see it worse whenever his hair is longer or better, not worse, whatever.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm not that high maintenance. I keep all that up.
Just like your hair done.
People are like, man, how do you get that dye all the way down to the root?
To the root.
That's
the
different.
Yeah. But you go to Starkville Smiles, right?
Uh-huh.
It was Dr. Herring's daughter. I don't know if you know who she is. Anyways, but I did once I got on Facebook. I looked.
I was thinking Wolfog. I'm like, his
That's
daughter,
his-
not son-in-law.
That's his wife,
Okay.
Dr. Wolf. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
That's
so
so
funny though.
funny.
She was like, I just always remember your blonde streak and thinking, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Anyways,
It's great.
Wow.
not to take away from Justin by any means, but just a funny
I know.
public thing.
Please take away from this.
I know this
Changing
is
subject.
I know this is eating him up.
Yeah, he's uncomfortable right now for sure. Well, that's about all we have today. We will hopefully have a special guest on the next episode to kind of talk about a hometown that is really interesting that's not in Mississippi, so should be a lot of fun.
Far away from Mississippi.
Yeah, and if it doesn't happen on the next episode, we will for sure have her on in the near future. But as always, we're so thankful that you listen. Please comment, give us some stuff to talk about. We'll definitely incorporate it, and we just appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Thanks for listening to the Created to Be podcast. To learn more about FCA at Mississippi State, visit www.msufca.org and follow us on Instagram at HailStateFCA_. If you would like to become a financial partner, visit www.fca.org/donate to sow into the work God is doing through FCA at Mississippi State.